Hi guys, this is Mark. I'm here with Marie and Richie. Quick snapshot of
See,
Richie.
I do the
This
wave.
is Richie. Does the
do
wave.
the wave. I have to do the wave.
We have come together here in Norwich. We want to talk to you about a whole new project that we're working on called Concept 7, and this comes off the back of something that Marie was doing very recently. So Marie, tell us a little bit about the hub and how you see us moving forward.
Yeah, well, the Creative Hub came about because I think there's a need to support and help young people and get them into business. And I know you guys are very keen on sort of startups and giving that kind of support and guidance, really. And it kind of came about, I work with fashion students and fashion graduates, and what I was noticing was that they didn't have somewhere to go. You know, they come out of university, they're so used to having that people around them to bounce ideas off, have a space to come and work. So that's kind of where the Creative Hub came from.
Awesome.
So they can come together and collaborate and network and have that support, really, and have that focus. Because I think sometimes when you're at home, and I found it when I was working from home and wasn't in this like amazing office that I am now, that you're not very productive.
No, you can
Don't get
drift,
much
easy
done.
to drift.
Yeah,
and just,
procrastinate.
Yeah.
Whereas you're kind of in an environment, you go, right, you know, I'm going to come for a certain time, this is what I'm going to do today, and you become more productive, and you're around other kind of business minds and like-minded individuals that kind of want to achieve the same.
So Marie's from a company called Trend Academy,
Yep.
and we're going to do this amazing collaboration between Trend Academy and Success 4, and we're putting together this new product called Concept 7. And so the purpose of this is taking what you're doing one step further and opening it up to everybody who has an idea.
Yeah.
So rather than just from fashion industry and business, this is any idea. If you've got an idea you're trying to put into place, if you've got something you need help with or direction or support, or even just, you know, you just want to be in a room with like-minded people because it helps you.
Yeah, God,
It helps you
absolutely.
set goals and achieve them. Then this is going to be the place to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rich, tell us a bit about what
Well,
you've been working
The
on.
idea of the Concept 7, not the concept behind Concept 7, is the fact that the first 6 don't often work out where you are. I mean, obviously, it could be any number.
Yeah.
But the first few tries at anything usually turns either it's a get up, fall down, fail, like child learning to walk. So the idea was by Concept 7, lucky number 7, you'd had it figured out. This is probably the one that's going to work.
Yeah.
So Concept 7 was that. It's called, the strapline is the Academy for Successful Ideas, which obviously a little bit of the Trend Academy in there, a little bit of Success 4 in there. But it is an Academy for Successful Ideas. It's a place where you can come with an idea and we can turn that idea into a successful idea, which is, there's a difference between the two. The initial idea will mould and change into something else, and then hopefully will help you become a success. And that's going to take time, but also, we've discussed this before, it's going to take people around you, and a company is the company of others, and that's
And
what
they
it's going to help you.
they say everybody has got an idea inside them. Everyone's got an idea that could make them lots of money if they put it into place and done it properly. And this is what it's all about. Anyway, if you're now leaving college and you've got this amazing idea, but you think you're incapable of putting it into place, this is the place for you. Come and see us. Come talk to other people who've got similar ideas. It might be that there's 2 or 3 people in a room with a very similar idea that could set up together and, you know, and move forward as a team rather than trying to do it on your own. There's so many different things where this could be so powerful, certainly for younger people, but all the way through. Anybody's got a business idea, something they want to achieve.
Yeah.
This is going to be the place to be in Norwich for doing it.
So Marie, like, how do you see this sort of folding out? I know it's sort of the initial seeds with the Trend Academy and the Creative Hub that you did. So what is it about this that you wish you had when you were younger, when you come out of uni or you come out of education, you come out of your training? Did you feel like there was a gap there and you kind of got stuck down the gap?
Yeah, I think most people do. I mean, you know, that's kind of, you know, the feedback that I've had from like the graduates that I work with or I managed to kind of pick up and they come out of university is they don't have anywhere to go. You know, you don't have that career advice. You don't have anyone to kind of bounce ideas off. And I'd love this when I was growing up, you know, to actually come and talk to someone that has some expertise on business, you know, maybe been in the fashion industry, you know, more so for me. But just generally, you know, sort of young entrepreneurs, you know, just to have that support, I think I would have absolutely loved it and potentially would have probably, you know, propelled my career a lot further than it would have been, you know, at the time. So, but I'm really excited about working with you guys because, you know, it's so much bigger than what I was trying to do, and I was looking at it from a fashion point of view and bringing in fashion people, but fashion is so mixed with music and art and, you know, illustration, but creative media, social
general,
media. It's
it?
just really creative. So actually, it's a no-brainer, and it's so transferable, and the fusion of everything together could just be amazing.
So Mark,
How
how
exciting.
do you feel like this is going to help someone who's sitting at home with their headphones in and they're working away on their laptop and they feel busy, but they don't see anything coming back? And I think that's one of the problems with social media is you do all of this stuff. I've done a really good podcast. I've done a Instagram post. I've done this, but there's very little feedback, and that can get disheartening and discouraging quite quickly because the world is so noisy at the moment. How do you think this is going to help with that noise and cut through that noise and make people feel like they're actually contributing?
Do you know what? Even if it just gets somebody in a room to reassure them that is normal. Yeah, even if it's just a reassurance that you're going to be doing this for 3 years with no recognition.
Yeah.
Even if someone just telling you the
Yeah.
amount of people that do it for 6 months and give up.
Yeah.
But if it's just that reassurance that keep at it, it will come.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for the right reasons, you're doing it with the right personal values, doing it. It's not all just about ego or anything like that. If you're doing it for the right reasons, it will come. And just having that reassurance. But again, there may be things where we can just look at it and just sort of say, well, we understand why you're doing this, but have you tried this? Or somebody else in the room might say, that's really good, but the video quality is not very good. Let me film it for you.
Yeah.
And that is the whole idea of it. The idea is bringing people together. I suppose a good example is something like you've done with your media and sort of directing and camera work and that sort of thing. You take somebody who's at university and they've got all the resources of the university. They come out of university with a qualification, lots of debt.
Yeah.
They haven't got the money to go and, they've been using the university's
That's it. That was
computers,
massive.
printers,
Yeah.
they've been using the cameras, they've been using a recording studio and all that. And then they come out and they want to try and make use of everything they learned, but suddenly they haven't got any equipment and they've got no
Huge.
money. They've just got
Yeah,
loads
yeah.
of debt. No one's going to lend them money to go and buy equipment because they've got all this debt that they've racked up during, which everyone does. And again, that is normal. That is
Yeah.
university nowadays. Don't be ashamed to come out of university with some debt.
Yeah.
Because that's
Well, that's
that's
It's just
part and
normal,
parcel.
isn't
part
it?
and
Yeah.
parcel of it.
Yeah.
But it puts you in a situation where you are in debt. You've got no equipment, so all the equipment you were using, you've had to give back to the university, or the resources that you were making use of, and you're suddenly in. The only option you have is to go and get a job doing something you probably didn't set out to do.
Or you were doing before you even went in.
Yeah. And I've seen it. In retail, I've seen the amount of people who come work for me who have got. I had one guy come work for me. He'd spent 6 years doing degrees and PhDs in the history of art.
Yeah.
He's working back in retail.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's just no jobs out there doing that.
No.
I think that's the natural default, isn't it? People come out and they go into retail, they go and work in bars, and they kind of, the hope and the dream disappears a little bit, doesn't
because
it?
you then fall into
Yeah.
that normal 9 to 5 rat run
Sure.
of now I'm working, I've gone and rented an apartment and
Yep.
I need to pay for that each month, so I now
Yeah.
can't do anything. So the whole idea or the concept of Concept 7 is that you can come here in the evenings, and yes, it may mean you're having to work for 6 months to a year, but while you're doing that, you're also putting your idea
Kind of
into
like a-
place and making it happen.
Yeah.
You know.
One of the other benefits from Marine that I really liked about Concept 7 is there's no what do you call
Structure.
it? There's no structure. But there is, in a
I
way,
know what you mean,
there's no. It's not
out
like
of the curriculum,
at
isn't
curriculum.
it?
That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
curriculum.
Yeah.
There's no passing grades. There's no.
Yeah.
You've got to do this content, this sort of make this content in that to pass that to get that level. You can come in with an idea, and ideas flourish under freedom.
So we all
Absolutely,
loved the idea of this when we spoke about it, and there are other people out there doing similar things, but they're doing it with government funding, which basically means they have to follow a
Yeah.
certain criteria and they have to have certain results.
Exactly.
This is about us being completely open. It's completely free space in the way that you can just be creative. You're free to do whatever idea it is you've got, and we'll support you. Within reason.
Well, as long as you're as long as it's like legal, as long as you're putting in the effort, then
That's it.
yeah.
Well,
that is the important
absolutely,
thing.
yeah. You're going to come and kind of invest that time and that drive and that motivation, because actually you're going to be surrounded by people that are wanting the same.
And this is about everybody in that room wanting to
Yeah.
move forward.
And I think it's understanding that it's hard work. You're not going to suddenly jump into a job. You're not going to land your dream job straight away. But you've got to put the hard work in to growing a business. And like, you're saying, nobody knows you. No one's going to know your name. And it's kind of being okay with that for a while until you can kind of build up your business.
Yeah. You need to understand that no one cares.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they
I'm
don't.
afraid not.
But
Nobody-
that needs
nobody
you need to
cares
be
on-
comfortable with that, and anything on top of that is
Yeah.
nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is the hard work, and I think that's, I'm very much about that. It's kind of giving that honest advice and feedback. You have things like X Factor now, don't you? And it's like people want instant results, and actually it doesn't work like that. And you get promised that all the time. There's things, advertisements of, you make money in 6 months, or you can be a millionaire in 6 months. It's very rare that can happen.
Well,
but
we've done lots of podcasts about this, and instant results are very short term.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Instant result is going to, a very, unless, yes, there has been the odd person that sets something up, and it's, yes, but instant results are normally very short-lived.
Well,
if you want a long-term successful business, it's going to take you 2 or 3 years to set it up and do it properly.
Yeah, at least. I mean, look at it this way. I mean, if you watch X Factor, how many years has that been going? 15 years now? Same with all the other ones. Who remembers anyone from any of them? I remember Ollie Murs.
Who cares?
And I can't really remember others. And these were people that are on all sorts, have gone from working in a shop to suddenly they're on telly, on all the newspapers. 6 months later, no one cares.
Because it's so manufactured.
Because it's so manufactured.
The right kind of skills and knowledge and mindset hasn't been there to kind of have the foundation. That's the foundation of something, isn't it? That you kind of grow into your business, really. It doesn't happen overnight. And I think that's what we're here to kind of help people with and kind of guide them on their journey, really, of where they're going to get to.
So how's it going to work? So anyone who's listening, tell them how it works.
So anybody wants to be involved, we've got a website going up very soon, Concept 7. It's the word 7, not number 7. So concept7.co.uk. There's contact details on there. You can email us about if you've got any questions or anything. But the whole idea is there's going to be certain evenings each week where people can come in and make use of all the facilities we've got here. We've got recording studio, we've got podcasting studio, we've got all this sort of stuff.
Pop-up TV studio.
They can book all that sort of stuff if they wanted to make use of that. But I suppose the biggest point is the collective input that we've all got and the other people in the room. It's just being in a space where there's everything here you could possibly want to move forward in business, in design work, in any idea you've got that you're looking at putting into place, and you've got all the resources here. And the support, which I think is massive.
It's really powerful.
One really powerful thing we have got as well, if there are amazing ideas out there that people want to put into place, I'm sure we can find investors and things like that as well. So support right the way across the board. And we've got space as well that we can supply, rent out by the day and things like that. If you're looking at doing training courses, you don't need to be renting expensive hotels and things. We've got training rooms here, we've got meeting rooms, and so we've got all the facilities needed. People can come in, spend the evening with like-minded people, bounce ideas off each other. We'll be having talks from people who other business leaders, people like accountants and things like that, and give you ideas if you're setting a business up, what you need to do, how to do that side of it. So really, literally anything that anybody needs. If we haven't got the answers, we'll go and find them for you.
Yes, tell me about some of the people that you'll be getting in to come and talk, because we're all a little bit older, so we've got a bigger network of people that we can tap into, and that's one of the main benefits of coming to work with us, is the network that we already have. They're coming fresh out of university, fresh out of college, don't know anyone. I remember when you go into university, you go in with people from Wales, and someone might come from Kidderminster, and they all go back out, and they all scatter back out across the country the same way, so you don't stay.
You go back and you just disappear, don't you? You can disappear.
You can disappear.
But I think, it's having industry experts coming in. I'm very passionate about people coming in and kind of sharing their story and how they've got to where they've got to, and all of us individually can do that. But it's bringing other people in, experts in a certain field. But, sometimes it's just the basics of, branding. What does your brand look like? Why are people going to buy your product? Why are they going to buy you? Down to, what, like Mark said, what finance, do you need to set yourself up as, self-employed, or, that kind of stuff, that information like business advisors coming in, social media, all the key kind of steps that you need to take to kind of build that business. And then bringing, industry experts from contacts that I have within the fashion industry to come in and talk about, one of the biggest things, or the struggle I find with fashion graduates and fashion students, is they don't understand what day in the life looks like. They do a lot of theory study and they'll do a lot of projects, but actually going and spending a day in a buying office or a design office, they don't have that kind of experience. It's completely different. So having somebody coming in and going, do you know what, in a week, this is what my week looks like. That kind of experience, because I think companies are nervous in hiring graduates, straight from when they graduate, because they don't have that kind of commercial awareness of how a business works.
Yeah.
So giving them that kind of insight and kind of upskilling them with kind of the skills and knowledge of that will just help them develop further, whether, they're doing a start-up and that's a part-time business for them and they want to go on and work for a top brand. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I wish I'd have loved to have had this.
So do you think like part of the problem is the social media side of things? People are putting this false persona, obviously, across of how a day in the life of working in a certain industry is, and they'll put the highlights on there, the nice bits.
Of course.
Yeah.
But we're trying to sort of give them the real grassroots of what it's like, what it's actually like.
Yeah, I mean, especially as a fashion designer, because you probably only spend a very small percentage of that time designing. The rest of it is the roots and graft and making the collection and getting it out there, and then and actually then a lot of people, all this is like a 10-20 minute fashion show.
People just see, but I think what you're saying is very valid. People just see the catwalk or the show at the end
and the glamour,
and think that's what it's all about. And they don't. And this is the same in business. Though people look at other people who are successful in business and think, they don't understand the journey that person went through to get to where they are. Because all they see is the good bits. They see you see the Richard Branson driving around in nice cars and with his island and his hotels and all this sort of stuff. They haven't seen what work he went through to get there. And
what work he still has to do day to day.
True.
Yeah, because you just don't see it. You don't see that most of these people are up at 4 a.m. Most of these people put in a lot of hours. They might look like they just swan about and sort of have nice meals and things.
Musicians, don't you? Sometimes musicians will make it big, but 10 years previous to that, they've been doing the clubs and the pubs.
This is the problem with the X Factor and stuff like that. And my main concern is that they haven't done all of this stuff to get where they are. They've gone and done the nice bit, which is never going to last. They haven't got anything to fall back on. But these kids, like Michael Jackson, was a 5-year-old going around doing gigs and clubs and stuff for 10 years before he was famous, or 8, well, probably less than that, but a good 5-6 years, and he was a child. And then he became famous, and then he had to learn how to fit into the world. It was all backwards for someone like that. These people are getting given the gifts, and then they're going to have to pay for it. Remember, people that go into the music industry, they go, oh, there's 250 grand. That 250 grand has to pay you for the next 5 years. They're going to take all of your recording costs out of that. They're going to take your travel costs out of that. They come out with £300,000 debt because actually they're loaning to you. You're not getting that for free. And I think that there's this thing about, especially when people invest. Oh, they've invested in my company. My company's worth 2 billion or 2 million. No, it's not. It means you owe 2 million.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that I think people can get very caught out on. I know when we originally spoke about doing this, one of the links we really liked from a Success4 point of view is the safe self-development. This is the safe route into business.
Definitely.
I know for yourself it was a safe route into the fashion industry, and that's why we sort of felt it'll pull together really nicely, because what we want to do, we want to point these things out to people. Point them out to you before you go and make the mistake that we've made in. I've made in businesses. And I'm sure you've seen stuff in the fashion industry that is invaluable if you tell somebody make sure you don't make this mistake.
Well, I think it is, and I think I'm really passionate about that. And I when I work with students, I do workshops. It's saying to them that you're going to have to make those hard choices. You're going to face these questions and challenges, and it's like, what do you say yes or do you say no? You're going to come up against kind of your moral values of what you believe in. If someone, I always think the analogy, someone commissioned you from Vogue and said, right, I want you to go and do this photo shoot, but it's with a really, really skinny model. Would you do it? You could have overnight success by doing it, or you remain,
you stand your ground and
stand your ground, and there needs to be more of that, I think, and not just in the fashion industry, but it's knowing that actually you can say no. And I think that's what I'm really passionate about, and that again, that covers all kind of areas of any industry, really.
But I think it's giving them confidence to say no, but also the confidence to say you can build your own industry around you. You don't have to rely on fitting into that level of the industry. It's the same as the casting couch in Hollywood. Just because it's been done. It's going to take someone to come along and go, not doing that. I'm going to build my own. I'm going to take my skills. I'm going to build my own industry over here. Someone's going to like it because the quality is good, because I've learnt my trade. Then people are going to come over this way because they don't have to sleep with you to get a job. They can come over here. But you have to do it first. And that's how you become a leader in your thing. The first thing you have to do is be brave, I think.
You've got to be brave,
absolutely,
because
yeah.
it's very hard sometimes to sit back and watch somebody that is prepared to break the law, break the rules,
Yes.
bend the truth, whatever. And you're sitting back because of your values, and this is where values become very important. Because of your values, they're flying ahead of you.
Yeah.
And having somebody point out, that, again, that's fine, but they will come a cropper because their values aren't in line with what they're doing.
Well, exactly, and that's what happens when you see so many of these Hollywood stars drink and drug themselves to death, having to live with what they've done and how they've got there. And also, you've got that hanging over your head.
Yeah.
People will blackmail you and use that as going down a complete conspiracy theory thing.
yeah.
But it is the truth. Is that if you
Yeah.
don't start out on your own morals and stick to them, then
Yeah.
you're
And I think
leaving yourself
that
open.
is one of the biggest challenges you will face, definitely in the fashion industry, is staying true to yourself, and probably in any industry actually. And it's having the confidence to do that and knowing that you have that voice to do that, and actually being surrounded by other people that are like-minded and can support you.
Which is what we're
Grow
doing.
with
We're
you.
trying to make an
Yeah.
example,
Definitely.
be
I
an
think it's
example
fair
of
to
this.
say that every industry has got its good and its bad side.
Of course.
And having people who can point these out to you before you
Yeah.
get involved in that industry is priceless.
Not to make the same
and that's
kind
what
of
we're trying to
mistakes.
do.
Yeah.
Or just kind of, I suppose, educate you, or kind of just say, look, these are some of the things you're going to come up against. No, you don't teach you that at school or university. They don't teach you that stuff. The life skills that you probably need to kind of go on and be successful.
Yeah, definitely. So guys, that's a little bit about the background of what we're trying to put together. So it's all about bringing people together, getting people working together, that collaboration in business, or even just bouncing ideas off each other and things like that. It's going to be based very much in Norwich to start off with, but we'd love to expand this throughout as it becomes more and more successful. So if you're in Norwich, if you're local, if you'd like to get involved, if you've got an idea and you'd like to see it put into place and you need support doing that, then get in contact.
Yeah, contact us on the
Cool.
Facebook page.
Yeah.
Contact us on Instagram. Contact us on info@concept7.co.uk and the website, which will be up in the next few days, concept7.co.uk. There's so many emails going through my head.
And it is the 7.
Yeah, the word.
Not the 7.
The word 7, not numerical 7. So I'll leave it up to you guys to see us out.
Yeah,
Go
no,
for it.
really exciting. Great to be working with you guys. Let's spread that message and help as many people as we can, really. And support kind of the local community, and let's take this nationwide if we can.
Yeah, so if you know anybody who's got an idea, anybody who's just come out of university, college, or even if they're just coming out of school and they're not going on to college and things, because in my eyes, I know, I did. I dropped out of high school. I didn't drop out of uni. I dropped out of high school. It's not all about where you got and what grade you got. It's about who you are and where you want to be. So if you've got an idea, we can work with you and make it happen. So
It's the Academy for Successful Ideas.
So share it to anybody you know who's in that situation.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank
And
you
we'll
very
be doing a
much.
podcast each week, so tune in for the Concept 7 podcast. That was hard to say.
Another word.
There's
Good,
another
love
wave.
it. Get another wave in there. It's like the royal wave. You've got a little bit of a...